see that the viewers of our channel are very interested in the topic of proper nutrition, so in today's video I will consider the topic of what is better to eat at each meal and what should be the breaks between them. And if you follow these simple recommendations, your life expectancy will increase significantly, you will become happier and healthier. So it is in your best interest to watch this video to the end. This video is informational, always consult your doctor. Ideal breakfast. First we will discuss each meal separately from a scientific point of view. The most important rule is that each meal should contain all three macronutrients, proteins, fats and carbohydrates. The question is, what should the proportion be? Let's start with breakfast. Many people tend to skip this staple meal, thinking it saves time. However, the most important rule of thumb is that if you wake up and are not hungry, it means you had a late dinner. Many people underestimate the consequences of missing breakfast, especially if you want to lose weight. When is the best time to skip breakfast? Skipping breakfast is a personal choice that depends on your body's characteristics and wake-up time. The general rule of thumb is to eat breakfast within an hour and a half of waking up. Remember, the main rule is to drink 1 to 2 glasses of warm water on an empty stomach. After 40 or 45 minutes, you can start eating breakfast. This first meal starts metabolic processes in the body and the work of the gastrointestinal tract. A proper and balanced breakfast is the key to excellent health throughout the day, especially for those who lead an active lifestyle. The three main components of a healthy breakfast are fiber, healthy fats, and protein. For protein, you can choose plant or animal protein such as tofu, beans, buckwheat, eggs, fish, seafood or meat byproducts. As for healthy fats, you can include unrefined oils, nuts, avocados, seeds, or ghee in your diet. Finally, carbohydrates should include vegetables, greens, and whole grain products. There are certain foods that should be avoided for breakfast, such as processed meats, sweet pastries, cakes and cappuccinos. A perfect example of a breakfast can be an omelette with coconut milk and spinach, and an extra cup of green vegetables dressed with olive oil. You can also add seeds to enhance your breakfast and boost the health of your body and mind. The amount of carbohydrates you consume depends on your daily activities. If you have a workout in the morning, it is recommended to add cereal to your breakfast. However, if you sit in the office for most of the day, vegetables alone will suffice. Ideal lunch. Skipping lunch can cause your body to go into a lean state, where the food you ate for breakfast is saved and fat deposits are converted. By skipping lunch, a person also loses control over the evening meal, which should be twice as much in calories as a normal meal. If you skip lunch, rest assured that you are likely to overeat at dinner, especially when you get home and rest. As a main meal, it is best to use your lunch break no earlier than 4 hours after breakfast. If you choose to eat earlier, it means you are not getting enough protein, fat and carbohydrates at your first meal. A traditional lunch consists of proteins, complex long carbohydrates, and plant foods such as fiber. Vegetable soups, including puree soups, can be used, but it is important not to chop the vegetables too much so that they retain the fiber. Soups based on bone broth are also acceptable. It is important to note that the broth should not consist solely of cereal or instant pasta. An ideal lunch can be chicken broth with vegetables, as well as white fish with baked vegetables, such as pumpkin, beets and others. These foods will provide essential macronutrients and help maintain good overall health, preventing problems such as forgetfulness, poor hair quality and skin conditions that can be caused by iron deficiency. Ideal dinner. Dinner is the simplest meal and should ideally consist of the three main macronutrients, proteins, fats and carbohydrates. However, protein should be lower in calories. If you don't eat meat for dinner, opt for easily digestible proteins such as fish, seafood, quail eggs or poultry. If your daily diet includes meat and fish, try to eat meat for lunch and fish for dinner. If you are trying to lose weight, eat only vegetables for dinner and avoid cereal. If you have insulin resistance, include non-starchy vegetables in your dinner. If you have gastrointestinal problems such as abdominal bloating or gas, Eat cooked vegetables and cheese for dinner instead and include them in your breakfast or lunch. On the other hand, if you are experiencing weight loss or sleep problems, you can include starchy vegetables and cereals for dinner as one component of the 3 macronutrients. Choose unrefined oils and seeds as your source of fats for dinner. Avoid bread, pasta, and pastries. A white fish fillet with mashed cauliflower, additional vegetables, and herbs, dressed with olive oil and seeds can be an ideal dinner. It is important to eat dinner at least 3 to 4 hours before bedtime to allow the body to recover. The time it takes to digest food can vary from meal to meal and affects the production of enzymes and hormones in our bodies. The hormone insulin, produced by the pancreas, is important for lowering blood sugar levels and suppressing the breakdown of fatty acids. Consistently elevated insulin levels prevent fat loss and can lead to insulin resistance, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and diabetes. It is important to maintain the correct time interval between meals to allow glucose and insulin levels to drop. This usually occurs 3.5 to 4 hours between meals. Snacking or eating sugary foods and drinks can disrupt this process and indicate impaired carbohydrate metabolism. It is important to watch your diet and make sure that you do not overeat carbohydrates. A person should feel good even if there is a gap of 6 hours between meals. Which of these foods do you eat, or are you considering adding to your diet? Write in the comments, we'll be very interested. In the description under this video there are links to useful videos on this topic. Subscribe to our channel, put a like and watch these videos.